All right, I got my nerd glasses on. Let's do this. I have played a lot of toxic online games in my lifetime, from mid-2000s Call of Duty to League of Legends, and of course, Dead by Daylight. And after over 12,000 hours in this game, let me tell you, it can be one of the most toxic communities you'll ever experience. Hello everyone, my name is Pally, and I'm using my VTuber today because honestly, being on camera is exhausting to me. I do camera stuff sometimes, but I also paid a lot of money for this thing, so I'm gonna use the absolute crap out of it. Anyway, recently ScottJund, SpookNJukes, and the King, among I'm sure many others, had created discussion videos addressing what they believe to be the root cause of toxicity in Dead by Daylight. However, there is one thing none of them talk about. Now, I don't know if it's because they simply didn't want to talk about it, or maybe it just hadn't occurred to them. Maybe they didn't even realize, but I think there's one thing they failed to mention that might be the single biggest overall source of toxicity in the entire DBD community. Dead by Daylight has one of the weirdest communities I've ever seen. Now, don't get it twisted, in most online games, people will come up and make up excuse after excuse for why they lose. However, in DBD, a huge percentage of the community plays the game under the self-proclaimed guise that they are so much better at the game than they actually are, and they will go through great lengths to find something to blame for their losses rather than just admitting they played poorly or got outplayed, or even just take an L no matter how they lost. There's always an excuse, and this isn't exclusive to one side, so much so that each side has made up imaginary rule books for the other side to follow. And now the question is, how did this all start in the DBD community? And well, honestly, to explain that, we'll have to familiarize ourselves with a little bit of early DBD history. Now, I'm a rare beast. I've been playing DBD since day zero, since the beta. I've been here since the very beginning, for better or for worse. And back then, the DBD community was very different, and it was very small, and we had what some called an honor code of sorts. And to explain just what that honor code was and what it meant and how it affected the game, take a look at this short clip from a video OhTofu uploaded way back in 2020.
It was a very tight-knit community, and everybody kind of knew each other, and it wasn't just random people that you were playing against. You would run into the same people all the time. Now, if you've ever been a part of a tight-knit community like this, you know that it's kind of natural for forms of kind of an honor code to arise. And that's exactly what happened. For a very, very long time of this game being out, while the Toronto servers were active, a lot of people played the game in a way where they tried to make sure that the other side had fun. Survivors that were running up towards an infinite window that they knew were unfair would literally let themselves die instead of vaulting the window because they knew it was unfair and they knew it was unfun. And likewise, the killer that downed them would more often than not put them on the hook and not camp them because they knew that they were going out of their way to make the game fun, so they would do the same. Everybody just kind of played the game in a way that was fun, and they didn't stress too much about who was the best and who was the best player and who, like, am I going to get the kills? Am I going to survive? Everyone just wanted to have fun, and they wanted the other side to have fun as well.
Now, before I go any further, I had permission from OhTofu to use the content I needed here in this video, and you can find the link to OhTofu's full video in the description below, and I highly suggest giving it a watch because, honestly, it's still very relevant even in 2024 Dead by Daylight. In any case, as you saw, the honor code was a set of, I guess, rules that we as a very small community at the time would follow with the idea that everyone could have a good time. And at least that's how it all started, right? Now, I agree with you. This might sound noble and innocent on paper, and largely for a small community like we were at the time, it was. But as DBD grew in popularity and as the community got larger, with also crossplay coming into the game and just the gaming landscape overall changing with new players coming into the game with a different idea of a win and loss condition, that honor code that we knew kind of morphed into essentially what you see today, which is basically, to summarize, you need to play this way or you're a giant gaping asshole. At least sometimes that's what it seems like. At the end of the day, this is ultimately what morphed into the imaginary unwritten rule books that are still used to this day, and as well as the main source of entitlement, and therefore, in my opinion, as someone who has seen the evolution of the DBD community since day one, the main source of toxicity within it. The entitlement that can be observed in the DBD community has spawned all the things that make us all cringe about the community to this day. Sore losers, sore winners, People out here trying to intentionally make the game miserable for others, the constant BMing with the attempt to get under your opponent's skin, a constant influx of low-effort, rage-baiting content on different platforms, a very unhealthy cesspit of nonsense on Twitter, which you should absolutely avoid at all costs, by the way. DBD Twitter sucks. All of it. And that's just the tip of the DBD entitlement iceberg. So there you have it. Entitlement in its purest form, the one thing nobody is mentioning, and what I believe to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, contributing factor to toxicity in the DBD community. Now, the question is, how do we make it better? And unfortunately, the truth is, us as a community, there's a limit to how much we can actually do. There are things in the game itself that fuel the entitled mindset that are almost made to tilt you. That's just, it seems like that's how it is. All we can do is accept the game for what it is in its current state and learn that it's not the end of the world to take an L. Dead by Daylight is an online asymmetrical PvP video game with two sides, with each side essentially being a different game entirely from the other. One side's objective is to spawn in a group of 4, repair 5 generators, and escape before they're all sacrificed to the entity, and their job isn't done until they walk out the exit gate. The other side's objective is to sacrifice all 4 of those survivors to the entity before they repair all 5 generators and escape through the same exit gate. They each have many tools and characters at their disposal to get those jobs done, some more effective than others, and that is DBD. It's just a video game. Now, I'm not out here saying you can never get tilted. We all have off days, and tilt is normal, and in many ways it can be healthy depending on the level of tilt. You just don't want to let it go too far. Hell, anyone who knows me has seen me get monumentally tilted at this game, and while I do my best to keep it chill these days, because the anger ain't worth the excess energy, some days are worse than others. And on the flip side of that, this isn't to say that a bit of friendly banter is bad either. You could even argue that banter in and of itself is potentially healthy as well, as long as it doesn't go too far, as long as it doesn't get personal, and as long as you're never under any circumstances to say that anyone is lucky. So take it from me. Do yourselves a favor, try to stop taking the game so seriously. I get it. That's easier said than done sometimes, and I can relate to that more than you realize as someone with breathtaking anger issues. But it's a game. It doesn't matter. Losing in a video game shouldn't be taken personally, and you shouldn't be playing with the sole purpose of making it personal. Just play the game.
Just play the fucking game!
If you want to play for the win, fine, do it. Tunnel, camp, gen rush, pre-drop, whatever. That's what the game is about. And if it ever changes, adapt and figure out the most effective strategies again. It's PvP. At the end of the day, it's just a video game. If you get sacrificed to the entity or all 4 survivors escape, it doesn't matter what side you're on, or the outcome of the trial, or even how it happened. You still get to wake up the next day, you'll be alive, you'll still be breathing, unless of course you're asthmatic like me. And it's always a new day. So knock it off, nerds. There's no reason for the community to be like this so goddamn always. Now, I ain't out here saying you gotta hold hands and sing Kumbaya or anything like that, but just chill out. If you get tunneled, the player who did it isn't an asshole. If you get gen rushed, the team aren't giant pieces of shit. They're just playing the video game. If you lose, just GG next. It ain't that deep. I guess what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, act your age, not your shoe size. That's it. That's all I got. That's my opinion on the matter, and if you would like to catch me live, I stream over on Twitch. You'll find the link in the description below, and also it should pop up on screen. I'm usually playing DBD, but I do like to have one variety night a week. I've also been enjoying a wee bit of the Killer Clowns for however long that game will last. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.